Hi, this is a working timesheet created using Java NetBeans. So I'm just going to demonstrate how this works. So I start with by entering the time, the individual start, and the following guys as well. Let's assume the finishes at about 3 o'clock. Just copy that. And here we have their hourly rate, that's the wages they get per hour. And was there any overtime? Supposing the answer is yes. Okay, that guy has no overtime, or not this guy. Okay, for Monday, let's see. Now we need to find out how many hours these guys have worked so far. So you click on total, and that's the Monday. And Tuesday, the same. Supposing the details changes for some of these guys on Wednesday, select Wednesday, and right here you can see the wage column is actually adding up what they've made per week. So right here we have a Thursday, and maybe this guy finishes late on Friday there. So what I'll do now is just take you guys straight into Java NetBeans and show you how to put this together. And here is the reset buttons works, and the exit works as well. So let's go into Java NetBeans and start a new project. Okay, now we start a new project. Go to File, select New Project, and make sure you select Java Application. Click on Next, and give your project a name. So I'm just going to call this weekly underscore time sheets. Okay, and just get rid of this. I don't need that. So click on Finish. So the next thing you do is right click on your project name right there, go to New, select JFrame, and there you have it, JFrame. Just call that, take off all the, take that off, and the same thing here. Just the package name, just take off the L, just take off the S, so that's fine. The class name and the package name, so the difference is the S. Click on Finish. Once that is done, that is your project form, your JFrame, ready for you to modify. So I'll right click on it, select my property right there, and inside my property you make sure the property there is selected. Scroll right down and set the size to your preferences. Like mine is 1366, and let me make this one approximately 788, and just click on OK, and that is my JFrame ready for me to use. The next thing I'll now do is to go straight into the property right there, select a panel, that's my panel right there, paste it there, change the property of the panel, change the back color to whatever color you prefer, maybe this, click on OK. Alright, so if you want you can just copy that very one. I'm just going to copy it, paste. Okay, I will now drag the copied one down, paste it right there, just position it wherever you want it, and that's where I want it. I will now right click on that very panel up there and change the preferred size. Let's get the preferred size right there, here, right here, and change that to 1366. Repeat the same thing for this very one property. Preferred size, just change it to 1000 plus. There, done. So the next thing is just to create my labels, get some labels on board right there, change the font size to whatever I want. I think maybe I should make that about 14. Okay, let's just change that to, instead of 14, let's go for something a little bit more visible. I'll go for 24 right here, and change that to bold, 24 there. Okay, now change the text content. The text content of this will be employee name there. So I'll just copy this and just use it to duplicate title, more of those really. So let's give that a name. That will be time in. Okay, so let me just finish up with the design and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, the next step is to get another label right there, paste that right here, and just about that size. Yeah, that's fine. Change the font size to maybe, let's go for let's see how 18 will look like. Yeah, that's 18. Then change the font color, the back color. I'll change that to white. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's enter a border around it. Let's go for border right here. Click on border and select line border. I think I'm going to make the thickness about 2. That is fine. Good. So what I'll do next is just copy. I'll copy this very one, select it and copy, paste it right there, so it's right underneath here. And I'll repeat the same thing. I'll actually carry out 5 of those across as well. Paste again, the one down, and one more. Okay, that's brilliant. So I will now select it all. Now copy and paste. Actually want them here. Okay, paste another one right here. Okay, and paste some more. So let's just get that one sorted, and now I'll just get back to you as soon as I finish this. Okay guys, this is how the system is looking now. The next thing I now need to do is to insert a combo box right here. So let's make the size about 87. No, that's incorrect. We need the preferred size. The preferable size, let's make it 87. Okay, that's fine. And I'll now just copy this across. Okay, let's copy it across. Let's repeat exactly the same thing, just like I've done here. Okay guys, let me just show you how the system is looking right now. This is how it's looking. I've already added 3 buttons, total, reset, exit. No codes yet, but I needed some option box here, so let's get that done now. I will particularly like you guys to pay attention to the radio buttons that I'm going to enter in here. That's 1. So let me change the font size of that radio button to about 18 bold. Fine. Okay, so the text content in that radio button will be Monday. There. I will now copy these radio buttons across and get back to you. Okay, the radio buttons are all ready, and I also have a title here for the total wage per week. So now what I want you guys to pay attention to is right here. I'm going to now select button group. Look at it right there. Okay, select the button group. I have my button group right there. Can you see that? So now I give each of these radio button a name. So go to code right there, change the variable name of that to whatever you want. I change mine to J, let's say JRad Monday. Okay, now if I come to the property right here, that is JRad Monday, come to the property and I look for group, button group. It belongs to button group 1, this very group right there. Repeat the same process for Tuesday, come right there and change the group. The group is button group 1. So I will repeat the same thing for Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Okay, all of the radio buttons now belong to a group. The reason being, if they don't belong to a group, that means you can select them individually, and that will actually mess up the system. Sometimes you just need to group them together, so they are now all grouped together. So if I compile and run right now, you see I can select, and that is fine. So all I just need to do now is to tidy it up a little bit more, then we then start with the coding. Okay, I've entered various names in here, so the next thing I'll do now is select this very combo box and come to the property right there. You see where it says modal, change that to the very first one. I'm going to change that to 0, and followed by, let me go for 6.9, and followed by 8.4, followed by 9.9, and comma 11.40, 12.9, comma 14. Okay, so those are the wages that are in there. Okay, so the next one right here, let's change that to zeros, so that becomes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, that's fine. So if I compile and run and drop this down, that is what you get. So I can select any of those hourly rates, and here these are the overtime from 0 to 8. Okay, so I'll just repeat the same thing for the rest. And now guys, this is how it all looks now. So the combo box is ready. So all I just need to do is get rid of the content in each of the labels and start with the coding. So let's get rid of the content in here, go to the property and select text right there, delete, they're all gone. Now select all of these as well, property, text, press delete, they're all gone. So the next thing is name each individual text box. So this very text box is going to be known as, let's go to the code here, it's going to be known as JTextField time in 1. So I will now repeat that for the rest and get back to you guys. Okay, each of the component now they all have a name. So all that is left for me now is this very component here. We need it to be an input component. So what I would do is just select it all and just delete it, replace it with a text box. So let's come into our toolbar here and just get a text field. There is a text field right there, and repeat the same thing for the rest, and I'll get back to you as soon as that is sorted. Okay, all of the text box are now in place now. So all I just need to do is to start with the coding. So I will start with exit. So right here I just need to enter system dot exit right there, and in here you just enter 0 there. Okay, that's the exit out of the way. So the next thing now is to take care of the reset buttons. Okay, with the reset button I double click on that, but just to draw your attention to one thing, I'm going to be resetting all of these buttons, and the name of this one is, let me just show it to you guys there. Select it, and that is the name right there, JLBL Monday 1, and followed by JLBL Monday 2, then we have Tuesday Monday 1, and so on. So if I double click on that right there, come in here, JLBL Monday 1 dot set text right there. Okay, I can leave it as none, or I can always enter 0 to it. So I'll just repeat the same thing for the rest, and there you can see here is none, here I just entered those, so it's all the same. Okay, the next thing I will do now is to take care of the following. So I will now take care of the time in and the timeout. Okay, that's the time in, set to none, timeout set to none. Okay, look at it. And I have the hour works per week set to empty as well, and that's it. So if I run the program right now, let's say I compile, run it. Okay, right there, and whatever I enter in here, if I enter anything in here, I can always reset that to 0. Okay, here nothing is in here yet, only the calculation we enter some numbers in here for us. So let's exit. So that's it, our exit button works. Okay, to start with the main calculation, double click on total. Right underneath the public class, I need to declare the following variables. Right here, right underneath here. So I'm going to declare those variables right there. There they are. Have a good look at them. Yes, I know it seems to be long. Alright, bring it down. Those are the variables declared. Then the next thing is go back into the total button and enter the following lines of codes. So I'll start by entering the following local variables for the total. So those are the local variables I intend to use. You can see they are all underlined just because they've not been used. That's why they underline. And the next thing is I will start by saying try. I actually need a try catch just in case if there's any error. There will be a message that will pop up. So let me show you what will happen next. So what will happen next is just for me to enter these lines of codes. That's it right there. So if I omitted any of the data, this message will actually pops up. So I'll now start the coding by, so I'll be using conditional statement. Let's say if JRadMonday dot is selected right there. Okay, enter a curly bracket there and enter the following lines of code. So that these lines of code that you guys are seeing, that is for my very first text box. So let me compile this and just try it out now and see how it works. So run it and see what will happen. If I enter whatever data I intend to enter here, let's say I'll go for that and just enter maybe 16 here, and here let's say that's the pay rate. Okay, select Monday. If you don't select Monday, it's not going to work. Click on that, and that is what is made for that very day. For that very day is made £148.20. Okay, so that is working as expected. So what I will do now is to speed this up and just so that we can finish up this program very on time. Okay, the same lines of code is actually added for the rest of that very column. So I now have column 2. This is the very first one. Then 3, 4, 5, and that's it for that very Monday column. So let's save that and run it right now. Okay, so for Monday, let's say it starts work at that very time, and finishes at about 6 o'clock. So we can just select whatever there on a Monday, and let's just copy that. And here we have 9 in the morning. Okay, the day of the week these guys are covered so far is on a Monday. So if I click on total, that is it. That's what we get for Monday. You can see all here is 0. It's 0 because I have not selected the pay rate for these guys. So if I select and click, that is what happens. So I think I'm gonna have to make this one bold. Okay, let's exit and continue with the rest of the coding. Okay, the rest of the coding is completed. Let me just show you Tuesday. Let's start from Tuesday right there. That is still Monday, so we might as well start from the top anyway, so that you guys can see the codes. Okay, we take it from the top. Those are the local variables declared. That's the rest of the local variable right there. Okay, now we use try catch to, just in case if there's any error, that will actually send us a message. And this is the first line of code. Okay, once if you click on this radio button, the following takes place. Okay, that's just for the first component. Okay, the next one is the second role. Okay, for the second employer, that's it right there. We have the third employer there. Okay, you can see it's the same lines of code. The fourth employer and the fifth. So that's the hours worked per week for each of them. Then on Tuesday, the same thing, the same lines of codes. That is it right there. That's Tuesday. Tuesday, the third person, the fourth person on Tuesday, and the fifth person on Tuesday. Then we have Wednesday. That's Wednesday. Is exactly the same lines of codes. Although if you have any need for these lines of codes, you can just email me, send me your email address, and I'll forward it to you. Okay, that's Thursday. You can see right there, Thursday. There is no different, like I said. It's just changing the variables for the storage. And that's the end of Thursday. Now we're going to Friday right here. That's Friday, radio button Friday. That's the fourth person and the fifth person on Friday. Okay, and that's all there is to the code, and this is the message you receive if there's any error. So if I run the program now, let's just compile and run. Okay, right there, enter as follows. Let's say we start work 9 in the morning. Finish at about maybe 5. enter hourly rate. That's in pound. Okay, the hourly rate is in pounds. So alright, the first day of the week is Monday. So if I press total, what happened is you can see all of them, they've actually worked 8 hours, and that's what they received. This guy's only done 2 hours overtime. That's why it's got less wages there. And you see all these guys, they've done 5 hours and 4 hours, and on the other hand, the hourly rate is more than this guy. So let's check out Tuesday. Supposing this guy decide to work 8 hours overtime, and he happens to be on a special deal for that very day. Okay, and let's say these guys 1 hour overtime, click, and you see. So on Wednesday, let's say it's the same thing. Thursday, maybe this guy start work early. You can see he's done 10 hours shift that very day. And Friday, let's say this guy finishes at about 7 o'clock. See, he's got done 10-hour shift that very day with some couple of overtimes. Okay, so with that, I'm just gonna call it the end of this program. That's how you develop working timesheets using Java NetBeans. If you have any need for the code, you can always email me and I'll forward these codes to you. Thanks.